Hey, this is Lance from 20 Sided Night. Today we're going over something special. It's not from the book. We found this going across the 20 Sided Night Facebook, and yeah, it's a pretty cool tool. It's from Sfrpgtools. A great person made it. Thank you for making this really cool tool. We'll leave a link down below of where you can get it. Also, buy them a beer. It's $3. It's like $1, $3, $2, $3.
Yeah.
What have you, and you can get a more robust version of this app. It's made by MJ Cads, is at least the publisher name down here, and yeah, it promises an update soon. So let's just go into it. What do you like about it, Evan? What's something that stuck out to you?
Things I liked about it, I'll just talk, were the armor, the weapons, star system, and just sort of, the random loot tables.
That was pretty cool, yeah. I liked how it took a lot of, the thinking out of it. Like, say it is just a random on-the-fly adventure that we have, or I don't know what you guys are doing here. I don't even know what loot you guys are doing because you guys are going way off track. Creature is this, and as for the loot, you guys get... I totally have everything prepared back here behind my DM screen. These cool things.
Yeah. So what I liked about the armor was... you can, sort of randomly generate, what the armor is sort of by level. And one of the things in Starfinder is they don't do it necessarily by, character level. It's sort of by the, armor level thing they got going on in the book.
Yeah, sort of the way it works is, you don't have to be that certain level to wear that thing. The level that they give you in the book is sort of who's going to sell you this? Do they trust you enough to sell you this? And the level sort of...
how cool it is.
Yeah, or the level sort of also leans to, the level of your character sort of leans to how renowned or infamous or just how much clout they have. Because if your level, if you go from level 1 or 5, what have you, to level 10 or beyond, you're going to earn some contacts along the way, somebody's going to hear about you.
Yeah, for example, you're not going to be able to find power armor at the, the old 5 and dime.
Maybe at Lowe's.
Yeah.
But not the 5 and dime.
Yeah. And yeah, you can sort of buy, sort of that level like we were just talking about, or by the type, so light or heavy.
Yeah.
I guess medium doesn't really exist in Starfinder. It's either you're a big old hulking brute or you're wearing a shirt.
Yeah, well, that's sort of, it simplifies things a lot more. So, there's a lot of things if you have to be this level. It takes away a lot of that sort of, I am going to make this sort of person, makes things more open and free. If you are really still sort of stuck on the light, medium, heavy armor frames, why not consider light armor, heavy armor, medium, and then power armor, something that you work up into heavy if you really want that. But that's neither here nor there.
And then, so the second thing was weapon, and, again, you can sort of, generate a random weapon by level, by type, so long arm, small arm, heavy weapons, sniper weapons. And also the cool thing about the weapons is you can give it a name, and it'll give a randomly generated name, and sometimes, it's not every time, but I want to say, 40% of the weapons, because it's, derping around it earlier, 40% of the weapons I found, I came up with a cool little flavor text. It's kind of like Magic the Gathering, which that's one of the things I like about Magic the Gathering is cool ass flavor text.
Yeah, I like that too. If you do want a unique, say you are one of the people that plans out their full adventure in the very beginning. Say you do have an adventure path worth of stuff just written down. This will be really cool to say, but you're having writer's block or what have you. This is really cool even for that. It's more than just a tool that you can pull out on the fly. It is something that you can use to prepare for the games. Oh, this is, Absalom Star. It's a unique, so it's a very ancient and well-known, or ancient and esoteric magical sword, or, anything like that.
Yeah, or, it is a randomly generated name, and so maybe it's something where maybe, you have a, particularly colorful character, maybe that you use by making the character concept thing, which we'll talk about later. But maybe they're a really colorful character, just an NPC that seems really cool, and I don't know, maybe he's a reoccurring bandit bad guy or whatever, and you're all right, what does he have on him? And so you sort of want to randomly generate I don't know, he has a pistol or something that he's been shooting at, so you make a small arm. you can just sort of give it a name. Like maybe it has the name etched into it, but you didn't think that you're going to kill him. Like, okay, I thought you guys are in diplomats your way out of this, not a, yeah, sure, we'll negotiate. Bam, 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 bam. No one can object if they're all corpses. So maybe you didn't expect them to do that. Then, you can sort of randomly generate, cool weapon. Because if they were sort of the kind of guy who would do that, something like that. Next thing I want to talk about is the star system, which is pretty cool because if you are lost in, if it's one of those things where maybe, you done goofed up while doing drift travel and, you're lost in space, classic Danger Will Robinson shenanigans, or maybe you are, your party's just a band of murder hobos that are not pirates, but not pirates, and they're sort of, basically going from a murder hobo and a job to murder hobo and job. You can say, okay, what's in the star system, and you can put things in it like how populated it is. So it's like if it's sparsely populated, is like is it in the ass end of nowhere, and also stuff like how big is it. So basically things of note that'll show up. Maybe they're not going to be super cool noteworth. Like if it's like sparsely populated, it'll be stuff like a lot of just sort of barren worlds or sort of like wild worlds where it's just like, yeah, they're still, in the times where like sentience hasn't taken hold yet and there's just a bunch of like dinosaurs or something running around, or maybe like a destroyed world that's basically like, Fallout, but if everyone died.
One thing I do like about, another thing that I like about the system generator that was really cool, it's great to use like as different planets in the solar system, but one thing that I always thought was kind of weird about a lot of sci-fi shows or movies, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, what have you, Star Trek sometimes, every planet is just one big biome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it never made sense. So really what you can do with this in the generator here, the system generator, it does give you after you start up like 4 or 5 different ones. It goes over forest world, like it gives you like different ones every time. It could be forest world, city world, destroyed world, things like that. You can like just generate something maybe even a few times if you want, and have these be different regions of one massive planet. Say if you don't want the place that you're starting off in or searching for some entity at just to be the same, blasted desert world.
Yeah.
You can have like a destroyed section that's, like surrounded by a big forest, and it gives you examples for each one. A main biome is diameter, like different like things like, whether it be like, an ancient world where like there was a massive battle, or this is a huge radiated spot. It gives you like, the atmosphere up there, which you want that to be pretty much the same thing. It'd be really weird if like, like on one part of like, the US, it was like, a year here is, 2 cycles, but on here, it's happening every 20 minutes,
Yeah, like maybe something where, if you wanted to make a more diverse planet, you could do something where, you sort of make that, system, but have it just be sections of a planet. So there's a planet where it's all destroyed, basically a Detroit section of the planet, and then maybe like a forest section.
Hey, where Detroit's coming back.
Okay. Not really, no. But yeah, so maybe like part of it's Detroit, part of it's like a forest, maybe part of it's like oceany, and then maybe one other part of it's like cities.
Yeah. It's really cool for that. One thing that did really stand out, Discworld, not Flat World, but Discworld. That was really cool. It talks about like, the main biome is like, like terrain would be the aquatic, desert. Its diameter, mass, gravity, its atmosphere, it even goes into that. And then for each of them, like, how many days something is long, how many years it takes to cycle.
Yeah.
And then it talks about like, for Discworld, not Flat Earth, Discworld, no. A super ring system orbits this world, 200,000 times the diameter of the world. So you have like, that's really cool to even imagine, just like a massive disk planet. And then like huge halo style rings, circling this thing and circumventing it and things like that. That you could even use that to like, oh hey, what's on the map and what's on the star map here as we're speeding away from or to whatever we're doing. Flat Earth. I don't want to think about Flat anymore. Let's move on.
Yeah. That does it for the ones I really liked.
Yeah, I mean, I liked all of them.
Yeah. These are just the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that stood out was the character creator concept. I'm sorry, the character concept generator was pretty cool on there for that. It was a neat section. It's a quick way for the NPC, say if you're fortunate enough, that's right, fortunate enough for your DM or GM just be pushing you through a meat grinder. You know, you don't have to rethink a backstory every time. You can just, okay, this time I'm Yusaki. This time I'm this guy, what have you. One of the ones that I sort of came up with on here, it was Yusaki. The flavor text that it gives is an adult Yusaki operative who suffers from night terrors and comes from a rundown adventurers guild. They're passionate and unpredictable and have found work as an engineer. That right there gives both the race, it gives a class, and also gives like sort of a theme to it, which is pretty cool. Like that's already given to you. It talks about his age as an adult. It goes over alignments, obviously race, class, and theme. It gave me was icon, profession, and personality. That gave me was passionate and unpredictable. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That can really be played at any level. Gave a little bit of a backstory there without taking the reins from you too much. And obviously, say you don't want to play an operative for whatever reason.
Just press generate.
Or just like instead of I like everything except for operative. Well, I'm gonna be a soldier or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you make one too? What would you like?
Oh yeah, I made one. So mine was a Lushunta Solarian who has a price on their head and comes from a strict religious temple. They are mournful and merry and have found work to smuggle. So basically, a bipolar kung fu master who mules stuff up their butthole.
Yikes. That's weird. But yeah, that's also pretty cool. Like there are like branches that you can come off from here.
Sorry, just their alignment's lawful good. So sometimes it is, it's the random generate. It's really good, but sometimes when you're making...
There could be a reason to smuggle things. Like, if you're a good person, there can be a reason to smuggle things. Like, I don't know, say you're in some really dystopian future where they don't allow certain ideas and concepts to exist. So your operative here, or I'm sorry, you're listening to smuggler here, they're smuggling books or pieces of knowledge and information into this place.
Book learning.
Yeah, it's reading ain't just no tool for the lazy and the stupid. It's also pretty fun.
Listen, lads, book learning ain't done nothing, no good for nobody, ain't nobody know how.
Yikes, that was... Okay, so it also talks about the monster builder, which it is pretty darn expensive.
It is bananas, and I love it.
Yeah, it is pretty great. It's kind of a thing to go through. It goes over a lot of things. It goes over, different creature types, everything from aberrations to vermin and everything in between. It talks about subtypes, whether it's, you're going with an elemental subtype or a giant subtype. It goes over, like their alignment, if you want to choose that in a subtype, whether it be, lawful good, straight up evil, things like that. It goes over, like different graphs that you could have. Like it would be like an elemental graph that you put on here that would dictate certain abilities that it would have. It goes over special abilities, flights. If you want to have that tremor sense, you can pick you can put 2, 3. At the end of the day, it gives you how it fights, whether it be ranged, or
melee or like a sneaky guy.
Yeah, or whether it be spellcaster, combat, or an expert. But at the end of the day, it gives you like a fully statted out creature, to the degree that you would also find into like the Starfinder Alien Archive.
Yeah.
You can pull information from each of the things that it gives you in any of like the Packworld books, some of the adventure modules that give you extra stuff, whether it be the Alien Archive or just the Starfinder CRB. It pulls information off each of those. So this thing is this Sfrpgtools. It's pretty robust.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Again, I'd recommend picking it up. We are going to have a link down below of where you can get it. Please go ahead and tell us what you think about it in the comments below if you made anything interesting or fun. Is that all you have?
Yeah, basically, except for buy him a space beer. They are languishing in sobriety, and they need to be freed from that.
Yeah, verily. Well, thanks for watching 20 Sided Night, and please like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.